So we were rugged. We were rugged, and now we are back. And hopefully we can get this going. I appreciate you still tuning in. And that, I mean, it's the first time I've ever experienced that, but I guess rugging is universal. It happens everywhere, right? It even happens with the lovely YouTube, right? We even learn that we can get rugged at YouTube itself. And so now that we're loaded correctly, and now that we can see correctly, right, we have the ability to actually go at it and present you something that will actually matter. And the reason why I believe this will matter is because it lasts forever, right? This is going to last forever on this channel here. And again, we're going to introduce artists to the world. We're going to be able to market them correctly and sell them correctly so that people can understand why you would want to collect a one of one artist. So we'll wait for more people to come in because again, we were rugged a little bit ago, and we're definitely going to take the time now to make sure that part 2 is going to last. And I mean, it is what it is. So I appreciate it. Coinstag, Sam, Salvatore, JJ, Renya, Intact, LaPro, Trippy Brains, Arian, Connie, Booney Man, Minimal Vectors, Bill Bag. What's up? We're going to get started here in a second. Make sure that you're, first of all, on the actual timeline using your using Twitter on your phone or any device, but make sure you have the stream up somehow. Switch over to maybe putting the desktop version on your mobile phone, have it streaming in your ear, then jump over to your Twitter and actually jump into the action. And the action happens at twitter.com/NFT freaks. We're up to 20 viewers, right? Let's go over here to the art thread. Hopefully everybody can hear me, right? We have some good action on the art thread today. Let's check the analytics. I mean, 980 engagements, 2,060 impressions. Not too bad. Less than an hour placed. We already got good art. First one we're going to discuss right here. Mind of a Creative. A lot of reasons why you want to support and add this username to your network. Even more reasons why you want to collect an artist like this. First reason you want to collect is there might not be too many more opportunities to collect. Artist understands the community, understands scarcity, understands rarity, rare things that you have to see here in the community to survive or build some sort of worth and value. This artist does it correctly here with a collaboration with another username, strong female named Poker Chick. So Poker Chick plus Mind of a Creative together, collaboration, female empowerment right here. A great piece to add to your collection. Also great art that I'm always going to share, and I'm always going to represent for that username, and always women just in general, because they don't get the love they deserve. And it's time people shower all races, all cultures, all genders, and include everybody here who creates badass stuff. Let's talk about somebody else badass. Mr. Eric John, a pizza artist, creates with edible ingredients. Yes, this is edible pizza created into art, then digitized for the world to see. And by the way, the one of ones, only one more until the first era of pizza art is complete and minting is on pause. Then it's on to a new era. So username's already signaling future just off of one post alone. You can tell from the art. You can tell from if you highlight the username and actually let's open it up. Let's get a little bit more in depth here. You open up the username as seen on TV. The bio's good. The header's great. You can tell by the proportions. You can tell by when people take the time to put their time into their header and who they are. You go down 21,000 followers, no lacking in forms of acceptance in the community. Official trailer of The Art of Pizza. Hey, he's taken this farther than you've ever thought. There's a documentary that's coming behind the art that he's presenting here in the community. If you don't understand that as being of value, then I don't really know what you're here for, because that's screaming value all day. Let's talk about another artist. I love this originality. I love the uniqueness of a Collins doodle, right? You can't ever go wrong with art. They say, well, you can't ever go wrong with art that's great from a username that understands, who knows how to dance into popular culture. Everybody recognizes this movie right off the bat. The relevancy of it can strike many people. That means the piece is going to carry weight with many, right? It's not just a piece that you have to worry about collecting for yourself and not thinking anybody else can maybe connect to it or maybe find a relation to it. By the way, I'm going to need a lot more likes than 21 if we're going to really be doing this, ladies and gentlemen. If we're really going to be doing this, we need to signal correctly on what's happening. Let's see what we got here in the chat room. I'm jumping over to the chat as we wait for Colin's Doodle and I politic for him to get some likes. The reason why is we need to signal some of the best here. We got 33 viewers. There should at least be 33 likes. You need to learn how to flip back and forth. Designer Car Tech in the house. Dave Harshit in the house. Scott Bateman in the house. Autism the Happy Kingdom. I love that name. Thank you so much for joining me. Everybody, thank you for joining me. Steve Cutmore, one of my strong supporters there. I love seeing that stuff. Intact Arts. Wizarco, love your art. Hey, let's do this right. Let's signal for Collins a little bit. Let's signal for this thread. Let's get some people here involved. My works are made of pieces by AR generated. That's cool. That's cool. We'll see them, Coin Stag. Drop it down in that thread and we'll check you out. We'll check you out. 23 likes. We'll keep this thing going. Let's keep going here. We got Galley Vex in the house. Let's check out Galley Vex in here. Right? We got this reflective style. This black and gold, looks like rich oil of some sort. I don't know if you see that when I expand it, so I'm going to keep it down, but I am going to highlight the actual tweet. I love this sort of luxurious play. It's got this touch of luxury. Then it's got this floating, again, black and gold. People understand oil is money. It's got that sort of flavor to it. I love the uniqueness of it. Nothing that I've ever seen. Don't necessarily know if there are assets in there. If they are, they're not the popular ones being used by everybody else. So I'm always going to signal somebody like a Galley Vex in the house. Let's take a shot here. It is so fire with Laura. Laura coming in with the strong piece here, right? Oh, what's that? Yetkin Goldman just subscribed. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing. Just flipped over to that. If you like what you see, be sure to follow and subscribe. I don't get paid for this. I'm just here putting on my community. But you have to understand something. The people that I'm putting on are people that you're going to want to put your chips on so that you're going to want to put those in your collection and have a portfolio of value. You can't just go around collecting NFT and thinking that every single NFT you add to the collection is going to formulate into some sort of value. But if I can staple real daily activity to those NFTs, I've won. And here's somebody you can staple. This username, Laura, you can staple this and you can staple the art. It's going to last in the community. We need more than 14 likes, by the way. Thank you so much for dropping that potency in my art thread. I appreciate people who support me. I'm always going to support them. And it's this stuff that we want to signal in order to get people to jump back in. Let's signal another strong competitor here. This is Limbo. As long as I've been here, Limbo's been here. By the way, can I show you my phone? Sure. Let me jump over to the front head. Let's jump over to the front head. I'm speaking about an artist right now. Limbo is the username. Well, let me show you. Still got him as my wallpaper on my phone. That's created by Limbo himself right there. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a cyberscape with the NFT freaks in the back. I just wanted to flip over and show that so that you know and you understand that I'm rocking with my community and I understand the players, but not just that. You look at the art and you totally understand why this username can be added to your collection. The value is insane. I would never even add that to my phone if this person didn't even understand what was happening in our community. That matters. You're going to hear a lot about these NFTs. You're going to hear a lot about these artists. You're going to hear a lot about these OpenSea, this, that. Yeah, okay, listen. If you join me at twitter.com/NFT freaks, you signal with me the right players who are really working in this community. You can change the narrative with me. We can help you create some value with these artists. When they enter your collection, we can talk about it for you. We can help you liquidate it and sell it to the next person. Why? Because the player's been authenticated in the league. What's the league? What's the league? The NFT community. That's what we're running. That's what we're doing. That's what we're maintaining. That's what Freaks summarizes. That's what I'm here doing with artists like LaPro who give us art like this that you can easily see and understand. This needs to be shared. The colors, the photography, the subject, the black and white. I mean, there's decisions here you need to make to call a piece complete. And when LaPro says this is done and puts it down, you can tell this is great. I mean, you can tell that the artist has great understanding of what's complete. Check this one out here. Totally flips the style, but if you see the whole drip blur on the eye band, brings it over to show you the relation. Bam. Tattoo. Awesome. Looks amazing. You didn't cover the backside of the neck. You left some air in there for me. You got the pistols, the rose. Makes it look sexy, but makes it look dangerous at the same time. I could see this in a lot of places. Blown up on canvas in a tattoo shop. Maybe you get somewhere, a hookah lounge, something like that. That's some amazing stuff right there. Something else that's pretty amazing is this guy right here. Let's give him his love. We're going to watch this real quick. I don't know if my set is... Holy moly. I mean, are we being really serious right now? Do I have the, am I allowed, St. Paul? Again, if you want to signal great art, if you want to signal... Listen, St. Paul is the type of artist that you want to add to your collection so that you can help signal to people what it is we're exactly doing here. When you come support these artists, you're sending that signal to others and you're saying this stuff is valuable. We're waiting for people to come support this art. You understand? I got to get this going. We got to get that going. St. Paul in the house. If you have a chance to come check that out on my timeline, you really will not be losing with somebody like him. Again, these artists need people to jump in and depend on them. You're helping us signal that value to the moon. Do you understand that? And it takes people to do that. Let's jump over here to the chat session and read some comments because we have 56 viewers tuned in live on the art thread pinned on Twitter. Can't really respond to everything because I'm live right now, but we're checking out this art. We're actually going to go down here, right? We're actually going to go down here. We're going to highlight Captain Kimmy next. We're going to put the piece up. And then we're going to discuss the piece. But before I do, I'm going to jump in the chat. What's up, Freddie? What's up, Steve? What's up, Sam? Tesser Act? What's up, Arian? Scott Bateman? These are artists of our community, ladies and gentlemen. Soheb, Eric, Real. What's going on? Kazatev, Sarkar. I appreciate you joining. I appreciate you tuning in. This is the live art thread, first of its kind. And here's somebody that I really want to highlight and I want to talk about. Captain Kimmy. Captain Kimmy. Why Captain Kimmy? Why aerial photography? What's so great about this, V? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the PFP first of all in the username. Captain Kimmy already embodying the airline pilot experience. Let's go down to the bio. The Genesis captain of the NFT community already has a great tagline. There's a great sales point in there. Airline pilot, in-flight instructor flying Airbus. Boom. Popular brand. That's a popular thing. That's an in real life format. He's living what he's doing. Can't fake this. For over 20 years, he's not going anywhere in my mind. And he's part of the BAYC times 10. Times 10 shows me decentralized believer, freedom style thinker. This might be somebody I want to deal with. I jump out of the bio, jump out of the username, come down, read some comments. Unbelievable. Still waiting for a ride. Captain, come over here. Check it out. The instrument panel, the way you're capturing the views. What I like about Captain Kimmy is I like that he's putting together this collection that's basically having you focus more on what's in front of the windshield. And so if you can play on those landscapes and you can play with rarity if there's only X amount of snow shots and you're a collector listening to me right now, and you need to understand that I know Captain Kimmy, and so whatever I'm signaling with you, I'm going to signal back with him, and this is the stuff that we're building together. But the snow starts to become a rarity of some sort. And if the airline pilot and artist understands that, which he does because he's a collector too, so he understands the reward of what a collector should be looking for, that's amazing as well. And those are all the right reasons to share a Captain Kimmy or even indulge in a Captain Kimmy. You have to understand that it's not so much that that's my friend or that I represent with him. If he's not doing this stuff correctly and he doesn't provide the material, I can't review it correctly. I want to review this artist real quick. The originality of these works that I always see from this artist and the way the username maneuvers, I never really see it get thirsty. I never see it get toxic. I never really see it indulge in anything except for original artworks and strong daily support means I'm always going to represent for edstreet.eth or edstet.eth, right? I'm always going to represent. Appreciate you stopping by and dropping those original works. Here's an artist that I want to talk about. I never knew Sarira until I learned about her from other people in the community. That's why we're going to pull up her username and do this a little bit live. 6,500 followers allows me to know that I'm not late and I'm not early. I'm dealing with somebody who has some great footing in the community, already being spoken about. 75 others follow her. Kato OG is going to be a strong signal for me. I see the pinned tweet, not afraid to dox themselves and tell them a little bit about, which means that they're going to be able to provide content for me later. They're going to be able to scale their program more as they go on. Right? And I'm looking at the timeline, I'm reading, I'm seeing strong supporter of mine, see her show up all the time. So I come back to the art. This is the style of the works. Won't go so far into the program, but if you do, you'll see there's collectors almost on every single last one of these. So when you're offering this style, people are starting to grab the feedback about you. They're starting to understand what you're doing. They're able to highlight your strengths. That's when you become valuable. You need to start cutting back. Start presenting a little bit less. More and more people that come on, they need to help signal that. And it takes you. It takes the collector, the person listening to this wondering, what am I going to collect next? The art is art. Nobody's taking that away from anybody here. But a lot of these people that I'm reviewing right now, I'm telling you, they're not random individuals that I would tell you to just go across. These are people who build daily, and adding them, you cannot really lose, right? And so I want to come down and I want to touch this person, Foley. Get a drink on him. I got to get a drink on Foley. Go ahead and take a look at the art real quick. Appreciate you tuning in, by the way. Go ahead and signal this second stream. We got rugged on the first one. I'll get better and better at these streams. They'll become more uniformed. What I'm trying to do is find out what's beneficial for my community, and making these videos with great explanations behind them and letting them live on YouTube for people to clip or maybe use in their own form of marketing or spinning later is going to be a great method for all of us. And that's why I'm sitting here doing this. But I need to take a drink on Foley because the bullets I cover are going to be spectacular. Give me 1 second. If we're doing NFT and we're signaling art, the originality matters. The art part of what matters in a traditional landscape matters more in a digital landscape, and marrying the two together is an art itself. And so when you're coming and dealing with these people who look like they can carry the weight or throw that weight down on an original canvas, so that means I can put them to the test on a real live seminar. I can go meet them live, and they could probably do this on a canvas because they're an original painter. They're a traditional worker. That's super strong for me to want to add to my portfolio, because if I get in a match with somebody from a digital aspect and they're coming from a traditional aspect, I can use Foley to win that argument. I can say, is that what you like? Is that the style you love? Do you think there's a disconnection for people who do digital art versus people who do traditional art? Well, let me introduce you to somebody like a Foley. And when you show this off to somebody, especially if later on There's a physical print signature series. There's a limited additional physical side coming out of somebody like this. But again, you got to be greedy. Greedy with the way you mint. Why? For every collector's sake. When you collect Foley, that's what you want to win. You want to win the fact of closing him out and not letting him be available to anybody else. I really think that if you're an artist in this space, you really want to concentrate on that. It's called exclusivity. I think a lot of people will pay for exclusivity. And that's where I want to jump out real quick. Hey, I appreciate that, HRTG. You could tell Freaks has a real passion in NFTs. I spend 20 hours a day here sometimes. I need to figure this stuff out. I've lost a lot of money, but I can gain a lot of money by teaching people who create diamonds on how we can make this stuff valuable. You know, when we're talking about exclusivity, we're talking about exclusivity in terms of your minting procedures and your process. What we're saying is, you can't touch this for too much longer. If I take a liking to my lifespan on how long my NFT lives and I say at this time I'm burning this and cutting it off, that's a rarity that I'm keeping exclusive for me and my collectors. There's only a small window, ladies and gentlemen. You can't hear about myself growing into opportunity and then trying to come back to jump into the journey. The idea that we're presenting here to everybody, including me, if I'm a collector of Foley, which I am, you need to get in now. And if you do not, then, well, you're treading in high water of missing out. Because the exclusivity side of what I'm wanting to exercise with Foley is don't give out too much more. And if they do, the price point needs to shoot up. See, exclusivity falls in the hands of collectors and your believers. And when you close the faucet on the front end, the back end becomes really powerful, especially if you've held off some additions to give away for certain exclusive giveaways. And when you build that, it'll take time. But when you build that into your journey, then you're offering collectors so much more than anything before. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second as I adjust, and I'll be right back, and we'll continue. Okay, so I'm back. Sorry about that, but I appreciate you joining still. I'm going to cut the camera for just a second, and then we're going to continue, and then we'll be back probably for a part 2 later on. But again, we were talking about exclusivity. We were talking about value. We're talking about people like Foley, artists like Foley that live in the NFT community daily. You can find these artists daily building their journey. And the originality of adding the traditional plus digital side after collectors understand what we could possibly formulate behind an artist and project the value to others. That's what is so important in this community, is finding out what is of value, and then using it to your advantage, and then spinning those tactics behind it and signaling that with other people, bringing in more collectors who believe that and making them join that journey. And another person who does that so well here, Scott Bateman Art. Scott Bateman Art provides originality with these works. There's a series here of this sort of, it's so amazing how you take that and draw into the depth of perception there, because it's a flat surface. We're not showing you anything you're staring down. The picture looks like it's so much bigger than it really is. The depth field of what he is presenting here is nothing more of extraordinary, by the way. I couldn't do it. And then you look at the detail, and again, originality, non-asset driven. Scott's the type of person, the type of artist, just like Foley. They marry the art words so well that putting them in your collection and building value with that will introduce so many more paths, so many more journeys. You could get invited to a gallery tomorrow and present these works on a much larger scale. And when people find that out, when people figure that out, when they can see that, that's where the utility portion is born. There's no utility. You don't ask artists about utility when you first come here. They're building into that by building their worth digitally. Let's bring this artist up real quick. Another, it's just an original, it's an original gauntlet today. I got the original workers stopping by. Bivcoin coming in here with what looks like an original portrait. Love the cigarette pack hanging out of the pocket. Got the time watch hanging out the pocket. You capture the old mood so well. You got it walking through some sort of market. You got the ring on the finger. Gentleman with the full beard, right? Got the suit and tie. This looks like if I'm back in this time or back in this era, a lot of these gentlemen who were hardworking or family men, they would be looking like this. This looks like somebody coming home, maybe have a merchant of some sort, maybe coming home after a day's of work or catching lunch, or maybe catching something else. I love the emotion of the head nod. I love the originality. And again, the traditional marrying with the digital and being in the part of NFT is always going to be valuable of entering a digital collection. That's in my opinion, what I believe about NFT and original works and traditional works. Here's something cool that I've seen before, and I'm more than willing to review it again because I remember exactly what I said, and I'll say it again because it just struck me as so powerful. This covers almost every part of the word digital art. You got the cookie at play being manipulated as a seat. You got the colors in there with the color palette, the sculpture. You got the canvas style. You got the reflection on the floor. You got the shadows. You got the lighting covered. You look here in the depth of the window seal. You got the can with that original scribble on there. You're covering pretty much everything that digital art stands for in one piece. And I remember saying that before, and I'll say it again. This is the piece that can signal that, right? And it's a collaboration with Mango Scam Eth. Congratulations to both of y'all. I think that's what's on the juice. It's a Mango Scam juice because it's a Mango Scam username. Obviously, you played with the orange on it. Again, the sculpture to the left you're using, the bronze feet, the bronze head, all of the stuff that you're combining to give us that one NFT presentation. Fantastic. Always down to review things like that. And it's a pleasure to see that in my art thread. Again, I really can't pass originality today. It doesn't look like I'm going to get past it, am I? Here's another one. Ecator and art. Wow. Floating in a river or creek of some sort. The way you captured that with the water around the neckline, the hair floating, the stars illuminating. The flowers that are coming around the lilies look so peaceful with the gown. Looks like you can almost know a story behind this, or that you're looking for a story behind this of some sort. And if you created one next to it, maybe it could help you put this piece in a great position. So I appreciate being able to review that and seeing that. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, this is crazy. Keyrun coming in here. Abstract anime, dark art, AI. Okay, with the tattoos. This gruesome figure. This, oh man, this is probably something I'd never want to see in my life. Very dangerous, very thought-provoking. There's no telling really what I'm looking at, but the way that you've captured it is it's really amazing. I mean, again, there's no way that I could capture anything like that, right? So congratulations on doing that. I think it's more of like a cheetah print style. I love how it fades away towards the rib cage area. Yeah, Keyrun, definitely. And by the way, 58 viewers, going for 32 minutes. I really appreciate you joining me. I'm just freestyling all of this, by the way. Don't really know how much longer I can go, but I'm definitely going to try to give people their shine. Definitely going to be highlighting some of the best artists in the art thread, whichever comes to mind. I can't highlight everybody, obviously, but I'll do my best at highlighting some of the best works that I can find quickly, and that I can also kind of describe the user experience behind and why I would be interested in as a collector to maybe go after it. And so I'll take my cam away so we can get the full blown experience, and then we'll jump back and we'll do it for a couple more times, and then we'll bring it in for a close. And I appreciate you joining me on version 2 of the NFT Freaks Art Review and Culture art thread, live on twitter.com/NFT Freaks. And again, I appreciate all my supporters who have came through, who continue to rock with me on a daily basis. And the name of the game is making sure that we highlight value by first stopping you in your tracks with great art. And so again, here is some more great art. Pickwish, great artist, love the originality, strong supporter of mine, right? Always see the username active with me in my threads and space. And when you share great art with me, it helps me signal to the world that my page knows what it's doing and that it can find great artists. And I don't think you can really lose when you add great artworks to your collection, because the reason why is more people are going to eventually signal this artist as a great artist, and that's what makes the works become super valuable. And 9,300 followers, Metaverse Traveler, Tattoo Artist, Microorganisms Collector, Pinned Tweet 29268, Young Girl in the Ancient Tomb who would deliver red wine to the souls of the resurrected, to those who drink and forget their past. There's ways that you can create and write stories to these pieces, which can attach to other people, and they can take a strong liking to it. I love the dragon in the back. I love that black and white. I love the attire that the lady's using, the emotion on the face, the devil mask that's breaking up, the capturing of the hands upside down like that. It's elegant, it's nice, and it's done extremely well. So I appreciate you stopping by and giving us a chance to take a look at that. Let's take a look at this. Minimal vectors. Give me 1 second. I like this. Reason why is I'm a flat art lover. When I do UI and I do UX with designers, or we make user experiences on the web, flat style has always been nice to me for explainers, infographics on the web. And so right here, having a piece that actually shows that is pretty amazing for me, because it's that flat art style that you would find with the icons and sort of those infographics and explainers on the web. But now you have somebody looking down and up, and you're actually capturing emotion here. And I think that's pretty damn cool. So if you keep that up and you show people more about that, a young artist shaping minimalism through Web3, Volume 1 sold out, Volume 2. You know what's floating through my mind about minimal vectors right now? This is some exclusive alpha, but if you can put a pack together, a collection of some sort that could maybe be monetized in a Web3 world, so people can buy those packs and you can monetize them by selling them as packages, and your collectors reap the rewards and some sort of collector rewards. Oh man, because you're giving those rights over and then you kind of create a marketplace for those people to shop the assets with you. I mean, I'm watching it right here. You could create a whole entire journey and opportunity at the top, and you could tell people, collect my one of ones first to make that happen. That's the type of stuff I'm looking for, man. I hope he doesn't scroll through me. Rogan, I love this one. Hello, amazing artist. So beautiful. We all here to the end. Been so fun. I'm jumping over to the chat, ladies and gentlemen. It's not that Minimal Vector's only 15 years old. Wow. Please help signal 15-year-old Minimal Vectors. He has a huge world ahead of him. Again, when you're dealing with the 15-year-old, let's go back. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I was just informed Minimal Vector's 15 years old. 15 years old. How you doing, Minimal Vectors, in my chat now? Really appreciate it. Oh, man, it's an honor to review you, young man. It is really an honor. Here's what I want to explain, though, to people watching, because a lot of people are confused about one of one arts. They want to ask about utility. They want to ask about opportunity. Let's take 15-year-old Minimal Vectors. I've never met this username. Web3 will get in a high demand form. It's not yet, but it will be. New websites will be built. Projects are already building websites. They need assets. They need infographics. Infographics that are geared towards what we are doing. When you have this style, Minimal Vectors, and you're able to create for the web, and you're able to create these popular assets, a collection later, after they fuel the primary. And for people listening, this is why you want to do this, because, and this is just opinion driven, but if Minimal Vectors takes the opportunity to say, you know what, V, you know what, freaks, you're right. I'm going to get 10 to 20 regular primary collectors, and we're going to advance to build into this marketplace where we give the rights, we create a collection, we can create a real estate collection. The pieces revolve around real estate. Anybody in Web3 doing real estate, they shop our assets, we put them at a low value, we sell high quantity, clip art. You're getting into ways to monetize your works, and the collectors behind it can benefit because the rewards can trickle in while your value shoots up. All of a sudden you cut it off, and then you're able to basically provide a huge amount of value. And sorry, I'm reading Minimal Vectors at the same time. Unfortunately, I can't hear you. Darn it, I hope you can. I will listen to all this later, but thank you. I really hope you do. I hope you do, because it's important. And if there's older people here, real people, real leaders, real artists that take a liking to younger people, help this person out, help signal it. That's why I'm going to signal Minimal Vectors. And now that I've learned about that, I'm going to signal it more and more. And now I'm going to continue a little bit longer. I appreciate you tuning in today to the live art thread with me here, NFT Freaks. Hopefully everybody else can hear me and understand what I'm saying, and hopefully it makes sense. The name of the game is to make collectors and people in our community understand why artists can become very valuable for your collection. Check this one out from Viz right here. This is amazing. It's a regular chair, right? But the way that it's modeled and the way that it's growing these flowers and the way that it's presenting itself back to us is just incredible. It no longer becomes a regular chair. And I love the seamless loop. I love the reflection that you're capturing. I love the 360 format. I love that I could see a collection of some sort with different objects that grow like this. Could mean different things. Maybe you could see them in a metaverse of some sort. Maybe you figure out how to 3D model these and give these out as assets so people can create apartments and condos with them. Now they have a chair that looks better than just another regular chair, and it's growing. It's a beautiful chair in your gallery versus just a regular chair. Let's take this original Dark Sun work and push this up too. Again, traditional, original, married with digital, coming through Freaks art threads, signaling, got a great piece people can connect with, style of emotions, people's soul goes through, people can relate to the emotions being seen inside of this piece, which makes it a piece that could become highly collectible, which means it could easily become something that could help you get liquid as well. And those are the type of pieces you want to look after. Highlight Dark Sun. I'm Dark Sun, she, her, oil painter who expresses my voice through my art. You've done it so well. You keep going. 6,998. Let's give 2 more followers and make that 7K even right here. And you're right. So emotional, Renya. Let's bring this person to the front real quick. You know, when you do NFT, I guess I have to bring my camera back on the art of man. When you do NFT, right? You are somebody, but you're really not what you think until you can blindfold the username and just see the arts and know exactly who you're dealing with. You know how much dark art floats around here? But I've been around here long enough to know whose dark art this is. Even if I never saw the username, I would know this was the art of man. There's a style that this username captures that nobody else gets close to for me. I've seen a lot of people try to do this style, but they don't do it this well. And what I mean by this well is becoming memorable at doing it. And when you're dealing with somebody who has sales, who's building on cross chains in crypto, who's active daily, who's married their PFP and never changes it, and spits out these memorable works that are known and being reviewed by pages like Freaks at a level like, let's say, 2,800 followers? It's a fucking joke. Excuse my language. Well, what is this person? Let's flip over to the front head and let's get serious here. I appreciate you tuning in, by the way. What happens at 20,000 followers when you're dealing with strong artists like that at 2,800? Again, an artist that's built collections cross-chain, daily activity through the roof, art becomes memorable in a style of many. Take a look at it. You can easily see there's definitely top shelf personality, top shelf activity, top shelf art. You're owning the dark art sector by making people understand you have memorable dark art. Then you become a real dark art player. Well, if you're a 3D, you want to become a real 3D player. If you're a photographer, you want to become a real photographer player. If you're an original style illustrator, Scott Bateman, you want to be known for your original style illustrations. That's what you're doing in the NFT community, and you're signaling that. And the more collectors you get, the more value you build, the more momentum you strike, the more reason somebody may take to want to collect somebody like the Art of Man. Let's keep going for a little bit longer. 44 minutes, 63 viewers. Hell of people in the art thread. We'll cover a little bit more. We'll cut back in. We'll bring it in for a close. The second art and culture review live with NFT Freaks. And if you like what you see, be sure to subscribe and follow so you can help signal to me that we can keep doing this. Done. One of my favorite self-portraits. Oh, wow. Amazing. I love how you captured the background. I love how you captured the foreground. I love how you isolated that. I love the colors you're using. I love how it's not too bright. I love how the PFP is kind of resembling that same type of tone. I'm looking for that relevancy. Glass Crown, a great username. Always see you involved in the community. You know, when you're not shy, when you're willing to get out there, when you're willing to get out there and build, when you're willing to come out here through these art threads and make people remember your username, you signal that you're going to be a great artist as well. And those are the type of people need to understand and look for to collect. People that are going to go further and make sure that their art or username is going to be remembered. And you do a great job of that. And that's why I'm going to share you today. Here's another person I want to share. Rek Garib Adami. I'll work on the sound. I'll play the sound. Hopefully you can hear it. Well, I guess you can. Yeah. So we'll play the sound. So well. I love how you did that. I love the whole mechanical side of it. Then you cybered it up so it has a futuristic look and feel into it. I'm trying to read clock execute, R-lock. I'm reading motherboard. I'm reading inside of a computer. I'm seeing the top LED show. I'm seeing the side with the information. Oh man, I'm really loving the seamless loop. I love to think that there's more to a world, and this looks like a piece that could be included into more of a world. And if we had it on a big scale, a large scale, and we were looking down at it, you could see many of these moving parts, which would become super interesting. So I'm always going to signal and share stuff like that. I love that cyberspace stuff. I love that cyberpunk feel, cyber city feel, 2055. I love that futuristic stuff. Let's take in Dave Hart shit right here. I love that manipulation. I love the frogs. I love the leaves. I love the colors you're using here. The colors you've isolated. I love the flowers. I love how the flowers are white. The butterflies are white. The trim's white. The hair and the swan's white. So it's like you're dancing on this palette and you're not jumping out of it, which makes this a great piece. And I can see it in a lot of places. And I love when I finally look at it, it's like you captured all that color right there in the eye, the eyeball. The eyeball is a reflection of all these colors. It is done so well. Love the touch of the signature to the bottom right, which gives it that exclusive official feel. I'm counting 1, 2, 3 frogs. What I like about it, the third frog, which is at the very bottom looking at me, I could barely see. Kind of makes it a nice Easter egg. I like looking at pieces like that and finding things later. Awesome stuff. I love signaling stuff like that. I love building with people like you, Dave, and I'm glad to be a collector of yours as well. Here is somebody you need to fucking pay attention to. Excuse my language. Let me get a drink. 645 followers is a disgrace. It's because he's humble. It's because he builds so well, so kindly, so passionately. It's because he's such of a nice user. He doesn't need to get toxic, doesn't need to be in the mix of everything. This person should have more followers. The art is fantastic. The style that he brings is, let's go in. Let's make sure that what I'm telling you here on YouTube Live isn't just some influencer talk. Let's take a look at the header real quick. You take a look. Notice how he's using those words. Burden right there on the gun, something. Notice how he's using the words. This is an artist you need to pay attention to. The uniqueness and creativity of this artist is unmatched. There's nothing like it. When you start figuring out, when he starts figuring out, when you help him figure it out together, that this typography and the way that you know what I'm going to do? Tomorrow morning, I'm using this as my good morning post, and I'm going to make sure. Let me go ahead and you see that. And I bookmark that. Tomorrow morning, I'm using that as my good morning post. Okay? That's the utility that you're missing out with people like this stairway. You miss out message in a bottle. Oh my goodness. Come on. Y'all got to give Mr. Heck some credit. 635 is a disgrace. 649 is a disgrace. Let's get those followers up for Mr. Heck. Always going to share an artist like this. Can't wait to add you to my collection. Can't wait to see what you're going to build. Can't wait to see what your understanding of what this space is going to do for you. I want to be a part of it, and I hope I'm not too late to miss out for it. That's why I'm going to share a Mr. Heck. Here's another person I'm going to share before I get out of here. I'm going to share a couple more, go into a final thought, and close this out. I skipped a piece or two of Cake One because I knew. I banked on the fact that I was going to see one or two more, and bam, there it is. I wanted to share something that I could really talk about, really indulge in. The choices this user makes. It doesn't matter what you think. You could get assets, you could get whatever you want. I could give this model to 100 people, but 100 people will not come back with the style, with the color, with the brightness, with the way you're isolating the makeup, the way you're using the masks, the gold, the white, the creativity of what I get from a cake one, the username behind it. Got the official NFT as the username, so you're heavily involved in NFT because you've taken that extra step. Those are strong signals to me. I'm a collector of this username. I'm a builder with this username. I want to grow more. 3,900 followers is a disgrace. It should be at 50,000 followers at least. Okay, maybe I stretched it. At least 20,000. Don't get with me. At least 20. Come on, at least 10. Definitely more than 3,900. You want to add she, her, visual DJ, virtual photographer, lead artist for Fungible People, Daz 3D artist, fight. You want to add this person to your network. And this piece is great. It's awesome. If there were cyber girlfriends and these things and collections to build and put into your program, this is a piece you'd want to add. Okay. It's got the luxury. It's got the style. It's just got the feeling of a great artist, and you cannot lose when you add great art. So, oh man, here's another username, Nova. The mystery 811 followers. Come on, this needs 1,800 followers. The mysterious dripping of your art and who you are. The mysteriousness of how you bleed that out, the way you give us Nova, Fist of Nova, and you give us these sort of arts. It does more than you think, I think. It does more than you think, I think. Because it builds towards the mystery of who you are. That's valuable because you can build off of that. You know what? I'm going to go with what V said, and I'm not going to share anything about me. And I'm going to share more and more of these works that put me in a tunnel. They're going to darken me out and put me in that sort of who's X copy, who's Nova, who is this? And that's what I look for in artists. And when the artists fall into that and they play that and they can boost that value up, that's what makes them valuable for adding them to my collection. Always going to share Nova. Can't wait to build with Nova. I'm going to do a couple more of these and then I'm going to get out of here. And I really appreciate you joining me on part 2. Something went wrong. Come on. This is what Twitter does to me. They want to show me just a little bit. They don't want to come back. So let me go ahead and scroll back up. I'm definitely going to always support Random Freaks. Originality, uniqueness from scratch, all the way to the digital. I'm telling you, there's too much time involved in his pieces to skip over him. You can't do it. Don't ever skip over this username. I'll never will. I almost did. You thought I was, but I was only scrolling down to see how many more we had. This is a username I'm always going to represent. This is the definition of NFT. If he can get people to signal 10 times the right value, the 11th one will fucking blow minds, especially when you start digging into culture. I see these sets you're creating. I see these pieces you're creating. Come over here to this crypto side. Start building this crypto set. Start building this cyberpunk. Start getting a little bit more NFT-ish and a little bit more futuristic and watch how the world goes boom. Let's start seeing some UFOs like how you did there where she was underneath the bridge right there. That was awesome with those cords hanging out. That's what these people want to see. And when Random Freaks figures all that out and packages it together for you and puts together a whole animated story built off sets, and that's going to cost you a lot. So you got to make sure you piece them out and get everybody involved. But you can say, hey, when we collect all these sets, we can make a movie. Can't make chapter 2 if you can't get chapter 1 funded. That's the whole entire fucking sell to the collection. And that collection can drive your future. And you can skits out and geek out on what you really came here to do, Random Freaks. I hope you get it done, man. Hope more people share you. Let's keep going here. Let's bring some people in here. Let's bring some people. Do 1 or 2 more, then I'm going to bring it in for a final thought. Here's one in my chat as well, so I want to definitely give them some shine. Tesseract. Wow. I love this. Again, I love that originality with the flat design. Looks like my computer wants to take its time to load. I'm telling you. Let's refresh this. I don't know if you're seeing this. I'm trying my best here. I'm going to jump in the chat as we wait for the load. So much talent. It's unreal. So creative. Really, man. Really so creative. There it is. Finally loaded up. Then we exit out. Oh, this is just, it's, let's jump over here to the profile. Let's end it with this piece then, since the computer wants to go crazy. We'll bring it up. I love that originality with the clouds. I love the gradient and the whole pixelated into the strong pixels, the tiny dots in the background. I love the art being presented to me. I love the architecture. I love the originality of the person. I love the non-assets driven. I love finding works like this. I want to learn more about Tesseract. I love you stopping by and supporting me today. And that's what's going to bring me to my final close right here on the front head. Ladies and gentlemen, 57 minutes, part 2, art review and culture. I hope I can get better. I hope we can do this more. 57 viewers. I hope you can signal afterwards, follow, maybe clip some, maybe support me, maybe share this, maybe give me some opinions on Twitter. You know, I'm doing this free of charge. I'm trying to take the art threads further. I'm trying to signal our space a little broader. I want people to understand what it is we're doing. The more and more you signal, the more content I can create, which would make the whole entire community valuable. If you're setting up shop here, what's that do for you? It gives you a selling point. It gives you a selling point. For instance, Steve Cutmore's in the building. Steve Cutmore is never going to brag on Steve Cutmore, but I will. I'll brag on that username. I'll brag on him purchasing the stuff I've put out there, supporting the community daily, showing up daily, creating and selling his own works, being positive and kind. I'm the person who's going to do that. That's why you want to follow NFT Freaks. Hey, if you enjoyed today's session, you need to be sure that I'll always give everybody a shot. NFTs virtual collections, thank you so much. Nate, thank you so much. Wizarko, Mind of a Creative, Real Ones. Love that username, by the way. Mej, love the slick back V. That's why I do it. It's a selling point. Just kidding, just kidding. Jono, can't wait to hear more of you. Click that follow button, click that subscribe button. Help me unlock those monetization hours so I can build content that will matter. Content that will drive the space forward. Well, it's brand new. It's brand new. We'll get people in here. But I appreciate you. I hope you join me next time. I hope you drop your art in the live art thread. I hope we have more hangouts. I hope I can create more topics. Hopefully I can create some weekly top 10. We can review some new artists, maybe some OG artists. We can talk about great collections. We can talk about bad collections. We can talk about do's and don'ts. And if you really want to support me, joining me at Freaks U, which is the link in my bio at twitter.com/NFTfreaks. It's my university. There's 126 keys sold. That means we're only going to be exclusive to 126 token holders. And the community that we're building back there right now, I wouldn't trade them in for the world. Some of them are here right now. But those are the people I plan on leveraging as I continue building. I appreciate you. I'll see you on twitter.com/NFTfreaks. And thank you so much for joining me. Until next time.